Hello everyone, James Wilson here, and I'm going to do a video now. It's that time of month. Last month I did a August of 2016 versus the August of 2020 polling, and what I did is I took the polling differences and added it to whoever won. So if Trump won the state, for example, but Hillary Clinton was up and Biden was up, but Trump won the state, I actually took the polling differences and calculated it that way. Every month the polls do change, and typically speaking they tighten up just before the election, and so theoretically speaking, August polling should be less accurate than September's polling. Of course, that's not always the case, but typically that should be what it is. And so what I did was I took all of the polling numbers for September, compared it to all of the polling numbers for September of 2016, and see how they did, if Trump underperformed or if Trump overperformed. Okay? And so what this map is what I had it for August. Okay? I had Trump at 309 electoral votes to Biden 229 after calculating the differences, the polling differences. Okay, and so out of the 13 states, I had Trump winning 11 of them. And that was just based off of polling differences. So Trump overperformed his polling and won a lot of the states, including Minnesota as well. That actually flipped into his pocket. So I'm going to just give you an example here and how I do the math. So the first state I'll do is Nevada. Okay? And I actually looked at the 2016 polling for Nevada. Trump was actually up by 0.1%. Right now, Biden is up by 4.4%. So I'm sorry, I take that back. Biden is up by 5.3%. So in Nevada in 2016, Trump was actually ahead by 0.1. Now Biden is up by 5.3. And Hillary Clinton won the state by 2.4% back in 2016. So what I do in how I compute the mathematics in this, Hillary Clinton overperformed in 2016. Trump was up by 0.1. She actually won by 2.4. So that's actually a 2.5 percentage point swing. Biden has a 5.3% lead. So you actually, according to the math, since Hillary Clinton overperformed and Biden has the lead in the polling, you have to add 2.5 plus 5.3. Okay? I'm calculating the polling differences. So that is a 7.8% favor of Joe Biden. So right now, according to the mathematics, Joe Biden would win the state of Nevada by 7.8 percentage points. Okay? And moving on to Arizona. Last time I talked about it, Arizona was trending blue heavily. Let's talk about it. In September of 2016, Trump had a 1-point lead. Okay? And the polling now, Biden has a 4.4 percentage point lead. The 2016 result, Trump won the state by 3.5%. So if you compare the 2016 September polling, compare that to the 2016 result, Trump overperformed by 2.5%. However, Biden has a 4.4% lead. So if you take the difference of the two, you actually have to subtract it. Biden still has a lead, but it's only by 1.9%. So that's going to stay Democrat. Okay? And if any of these states change, it's going to go into the lean category. All these states are likely now. Okay? But if there is a change in any of these states, I'm going to change it to a lean. So that way you can see where the changes are. Okay? So in Texas, for the 2016 polling, Trump had a 6.7% lead. Right now, Trump is ahead by only 3.2%, but he won the state by 9%. Okay? So what that means is Trump, in 2016, Trump overperformed. He got 9% of the vote, but in the 2016 polling, he was up by only 6.7, so that's a difference of 2.3. So you take 2.3 and add it to 3.2, which in this mathematical calculation, Trump would be ahead in Texas by 5.5%. So that's going to stay red. So far, the states haven't changed. Okay? In the state of Iowa, Biden has a 0.5 point lead, 0.5 percentage point lead. In the 2016 September polling, Trump was up by 5. He actually won the state by 9.5. So the way you calculate that is you take 9.5 subtracted by 5. He overperformed by 4.5%. However, Biden has a 0.5% lead, so you subtract it, Trump would win the state by 4 percentage points. That's how that works. So that's going to stay red. In the state of Minnesota, this is going to switch to the Democrats now, because I did the mathematics on it. In 2016 September polling, Hillary Clinton had a 4.3% lead, but Biden has a 9.1% lead. Okay? And Clinton won it by 1.5%. So you take the difference of 9.1 and 4.3, which comes to 4.8. You add 4.8 to Hillary Clinton's win column, which is 1.5. That's 6.3. So Joe Biden would win the state by 6.3 percentage points according to the model. So that state flipped. In the state of Wisconsin, in 2016, Hillary Clinton had a 5-point lead. Trump won the state by 0.7. So that's at 5.7 points that Trump overperformed. He overperformed by 5.7. However, Biden has a 6.2 percentage point lead, which means that Biden would win by a 0.5 point. You take 6.2 and 5.7. Take 5.7 minus 6.2. The difference is it switches over to Biden by a 0.5 point. Okay, so that's going to flip as well. In the state of Michigan, extremely close, just like pretty similar to Wisconsin. Clinton had a 5.2% point lead. Trump won it by 0.3. So that's a 5.5% difference. However, Biden has a 5.8% lead in Michigan. So that state's going to flip over to the Democrats. Okay. And in the state of Ohio, Trump had a 2.6% lead. However, he won the state by 8.1%. So that's a 5.5% difference. Trump overperformed by 5.5%. Biden has a 2.5% lead in the state. So that means Trump would win the state by 3 points. So that's going to stay red. Okay. And in Pennsylvania, Hillary Clinton had a 4.8% lead. But Trump won the state by 0.7. So you take 4.8 plus 0.7 is 5.5. And guess what? Biden has a 5.5% lead. It is a statistical tie. I cannot award the state of Pennsylvania. So maybe there's going to be some recounts in that state. Who knows? But right now, according to the polling differences, that state is a statistical tie. In the state of New Hampshire, Clinton had a 5.8% lead, and she won it by 0.3. So she underperformed by 5.5. However, Biden has an 8.4% advantage. So that's a difference of 2.9% in favor of Joe Biden. Okay? So you have to give it to Joe Biden. In the state of North Carolina, Hillary Clinton had a 0.8% lead. Trump won the state by 3.7 percentage points. So that's a difference of 4.5. Biden has a 1.1% lead. So that is a 3.4 percentage points in favor of Donald Trump. Okay? In the state of Georgia, September 2016, Trump had a 4.6% lead. In the actual result, Trump won it by 5.1. So that's a difference of 0.5. Biden has a 0.3% lead in that state. So that means that Trump would win by the skin of his teeth. Okay? And when you talk about these mail-in ballots getting to Atlanta, you talk about a lot of crazy things going down there, you know. But this state is very interesting. It's turning blue. But right now, Trump is holding on to the state by 0.2%. In the state of Florida, in 2016, Clinton had a 1-point lead. Trump won it by 1.2 percentage points. So that's a difference of 2.2. Biden has a 1.6% lead in the state. So that's a difference of 0.6. So that's going to stay red. He's going to win these two states by the skin of his teeth. Now look at that. Biden with 269. Trump with 249 electoral votes. I cannot issue anyone, since this is a statistical tie, I can't give this state to anyone. But if let's say Trump ends up winning it, look at that. It's a tie. 269 to 269. Okay? But I can't, for mathematical purposes, I can't award the state based on these metrics. Okay? So there you go. Biden with 269 electoral votes. Trump with 249 electoral votes. And in the state of Pennsylvania was decide the election. Okay? Because if it's a tie, the House of Representatives will choose the election. I did some research on that. It's 1 vote per state, not 1 vote per rep. It's 1 vote per state. Republicans control the majority in 26 states. So if the voting is accurate, if all the Republicans vote for Trump and all the Democrats vote for Biden, Trump would actually get in through the House of Representatives, assuming he wins the state of Pennsylvania. But for right now, I cannot award the state because based on the polling differences, it is a statistical tie within 0.1% margin. It is 0. It's a tie. So that's it. Let me know what you think about this video. Like and subscribe to my channel. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.